This conference will now be recorded.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the induction program of our online embedded systems course. My name is Jay Kumar. I will be your mentor and the session presenter for this program. So I will make it, this particular session largely interactive. I will stop by at various time intervals to check, whether you are understanding. You can reply in the chat itself, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions that will come up in every induction program. I will stop by at various intervals, and then you can. And in case if a particular section of the presentation is going on, you have some question, you can already type in the window. I will answer it, whenever there's a question time comes. So my idea is not to run through the slides, rather, make it as effective as possible, which means to say the time might get extended. In case if it even extends till lunchtime, I would request your cooperation, because it's very important to understand how this program works, how the placement work, and what is the current situation, especially given the pandemic and stuff like that. So that would be my request to all of you. As I already mentioned, keep both video and audio on mute. Let us only interact through chat. Maybe by the end of the presentation, I will come in video. We'll show our faces, and then we can interact with each other. So that's going to be the protocol for today's session. Okay. All right. Are we good to start? Can I get some go ahead message? All right. Yeah. Shall we start, guys? Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Harsh. Thanks, Padmashri. Okay. Good. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Okay. So let me give an overview about the company and myself. Many of you would have done enough research about our company. Let me put the presentation mode. So basically, we are a company based out of Bangalore. We have started in the year 2003, and from the beginning, we had two areas of focus. One was on the education, on the training side, where we offer various training programs for entry-level engineers, corporate working professionals, and also for corporate organizations. So you guys come under the entry-level engineering program, where you finished your engineering, or some of you may be in your final year engineering, looking out for a job in the core segment. And we also train experienced people on a very specific skill set, like, for example, Linux device drivers or embedded Android and things like that. And we also get requests from corporate organizations where they want to train their employees. For example, we have been an induction entry-level training partner with Robert Bosch for more than 8-10 years. We deliver their programs inside their campus. Of course, given the current situation, that also has gone online. And we keep doing such corporate assignment in more of an on-demand basis, because it will not be continuous. The companies will plan their skill development needs, and depending on that, we will be delivering those programs. And in the initial years, I would say a good number of years, we have even worked on certain projects. We developed certain retrofitting devices, industrial IoT solutions, agriculture automation solutions, etc. But over a period of time, we realized it is having a two focus. It's kind of disturbing us. Our team was getting defocused. So we thought, we will only do education. So around 2015, we only focus on education. And as the time progresses, the education is going online, and learning via online has become a mainstream phenomenon. It's not like earlier where we were scared about how online learning works. Especially when we say online learning program with placements, that I'm sure sparks a lot of questions in your minds. I'm sure pretty many questions you might have asked with my admin team during the course of admission. I hope those questions would have got reasonably answered, but I'm still sure you will have a lot of questions. You can ask me in the section, and then I will answer them, answer those questions. Don't keep any questions in your mind. You can clarify, in this particular session. That's the reason why I make it interactive, not as a slide running slide. So we're the people who are really passionate about, skill building. So we work with various companies by launching real-time products and solutions before we, got into university. And USC is part of Skill India, government Skill India program. Some of you might have heard about this, like Digital India, Startup India. That's also a program called Skill India, where the government aims to skill develop the youth of this country. So under that, they skill in different areas. So we come under electronics and embedded, which comes under the skill sector called Electronic Skill Sector Council of India, or ESSCA. So where this particular course, upon completion, you will also get a certification from, central government. I'll show you a certificate sample as we move across into the later section. So that's about the company. So coming to myself, as you know, my name is Jayakumar. I completed my engineering in, NIT Warangal in the year 2001. It was called REC when we studied. After that, I started my career with a company called Ishoni Networks. So Ishoni Networks was making broadband gateways or broadband routers in those days. Because in those days the internet connectivity was more of dial-up, which used to be very slow, as far as 56 kbps. So this morning I was checking with my friend. We get about 40 mbps at home today. Imagine, to 56 kbps versus 40 mbps. It was a dream for us about 15 around about 20 years back. So broadband came and revolutionized that. Then it became very different technologies. Whether you run a fiber to home or DSL, or today we use 4G. And as I speak, we're talking about a lot of deployment happening around the 5G network, etc. So that's where I started, mainly on this router product development, working on the networking protocols and the development of certain solutions like routing, bridges, and route filtering, etc. So that's what my first company. I worked there for about 2 years, and then I quit and I joined HP, that is Hewlett Packard. I joined their printer firmware division. As you know, HP makes a lot of printers, a lot of variety of printers. I joined the inkjet printer team. And the inkjet is, especially I was part of the connectivity team, since in my first company I worked at networking. I continued in the same area because printer, as you know, it's a super complex device. It consists of mechanical, it consists of chemical, it consists of electronics. A lot of stuff come together to make the printing happen. But I was more part of the connectivity, working on various IOs. Like as you know, printer has got a USB interface, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, after the wired Ethernet, etc. And on top of each of these input output interfaces, there are a lot of device drivers, and then we have embedded middleware runs. So I was part of developing those software, developing them. So in some project was mainly only about bug fixing, somewhere from the scratch development, and somewhere more of initial study and research kind of projects. So I worked on mainly on the connectivity side, and then I was with HP for 7.5 years. So in my last project, I was a manager in HP, and then I was managing a project which connects the printer directly to the internet. That's when the whole paradigm of cloud computing was taking mainstream. So I was part of the team called Cloud Print, which connects the printer directly into the internet. I'm sure some of you might have tried some of these cloud printing use cases, where you send an email to the printer and then the printer will print, or there's something called Google Cloud Print. I don't know, some of you might have used. So pretty much all those cloud initiatives I was part of, about 7.5 years, right? Then after HP, I quit HP and then went to Huawei Technologies. So Huawei, majority of you know as a Chinese telecommunication company. So their core portfolio is in the network, routers, switches, all the telecommunication equipments. Even though these days, if you see, they are into all those mobile phones and smart bands, like mainly in the brand called Honor, Huawei Honor, they call. But before they went into the mobile and the smart band segment, their core portfolio was in the core equipments. So that's when I joined Huawei in 2010. So I joined as a senior manager, primarily heading their embedded Linux group. So there was an initiative in Huawei where they were unifying all the products under Linux. So Huawei, as you know, right from a small Wi-Fi dongle to all the way up to complex enterprise router, has got a suite of products. So it want to unify all of them into from a different operating systems to Linux, right? So I was part of the team. So I headed a team of about 60 people who are working on technology research, open source technologies, or open source adaptation into our products, and then the mainstream version development, and then testing release, right? The entire what do you call the firmware and the embedded software lifecycle I was part of. That's when I moved to what you call, when I say senior manager, it was more of a second level management where project managers and senior technical people were reporting into me. And that's what you call second level hierarchy. So that's roughly, if you look at my first company startup, about 2 years and 7.5 years in HP, and then about 3.5 years in Huawei. So I thought, I was not getting further motivated to proceed in my corporate career, chasing my next promotion or chasing my what do you call next corporate title, right? So I decided to quit and do something which I always enjoyed in the field of education. So right from college days, I was really passionate about education because when I went to Warangal, I grew up in a town called Erode in Tamil Nadu. When I went to Warangal, that's when I really realized what quality education can do. So that really brought a lot of passion for me to do something in the area of education. So I quit my corporate career and joined Emergy. So Emergy was started in 2003. It was started more my friends, and then I was playing different roles and different timelines. And then 2014 onwards, I joined as a full time one of the core team member. And here in Emergy, I play different roles. Initially, I was taking classes, and then I was also interacting with the student directly. But as over the years, we built a very, very, very good team of mentors who are like very strongly delivering all the modules, which consist of class mentors and lab mentors. And the training is mainly now headed by my colleague and another senior person in the organization called Mubin. So you will be interacting with him as you go through your training programs. And so I mainly lead in placements, and then we have a placement manager who looks into the placement activities. So that way I have a very, very latest information about placements, whether I do a training, whether I interact with the students, which has come down over the years. Definitely we talk with placement companies on a daily basis. There is a very strong interaction happens with so many companies. So that way, in the first few slides itself, we'll discuss about the placements, right? So that's idea, what I do. And apart from that, there is some new initiative that is happening in Emergy where we decided to go online. There some more programs are coming up in the form of self-learning programs. So I'm working on, with a team, working on some of the new initiatives as well. So that's my background. And I typically deliver the induction class, and also I take the Disha classes, which is more of resume prep, interview prep, and stuff like that. I'm planning to do the next sessions in the coming week. I do it like on a regular basis. People who are already joined, right? They need to know about how to, once they complete few modules, they'll get a hang of technical things. But they end up doing certain mistakes, or they're not aware of few important things when it comes to resume and attending interviews. So that's what I do, the Disha workshop. Anyways, I'll be meeting you guys again in the Disha workshop timeline. Okay, so that's a introduction about, myself, and also before that we introduced about Emergy. I'm sure you would have done a lot of search and compare, or even ask your friends, etc., about joining this institute. So thank you very much for joining this course. Welcome all of you to Emergy. So now I would like to pause and take an introduction about yourself. Please type it in the chat window. I could see your names. You can say, which college you graduated and which year you have graduated. And in case you've done masters, mention that as well. And if you're a recent batch, let's say you passed out in 2020 or 21, even for that matter, I'm fine. But in case you passed out before that, if you're 19 or 18 batch, you can also tell me what you have been doing. If you've been working somewhere, or you're trying for some jobs but didn't get, whatever it is, you can just freely let me know so that I get a better idea about your background. Okay. So go ahead, folks. I'll also type. So please introduce yourself. It's not only important for me because you guys are going to be in the same batch for quite a while. So it's important for you to do that. Yeah. So we have Praveen Tulasidas Naik. Yeah, go ahead, Praveen. Please type, guys. The more you type, it is better for not only for me, for you also, because you guys get to know each other, right? Yeah, I'd like to hear from you. Okay, Praveen says 2020 batch. Can you tell me your college name also? It will be helpful for me.
Okay, so Praveen says he's from KSIT Bangalore. Good to know. Then we have Harsha, and he says completed UG in Hindustan Institute of Technologies and Science. Okay, Harsha, I would like to know which year you passed out. And then we have Annapurna. She's from SGBIT. I think that's what it's a short form, right? Annapurna, Balakundri Institute of Technology, 2019. Okay, so he's been a trainer. It's nice to know. Okay, so you'll coach your friends in aptitude, Annapurna. Okay, nice. Okay, nice to know that. You know, from SGBIT, we had a good bunch of your, I'm not sure about your batchmates, a good bunch of your seniors, have completed and working in good company. I'm sure you would have talked to some of them as well before you taken that mission. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. So we have Harsha will be completing 2021. All right, yeah, got it, Harsha. Okay. Then we have Hinduja. Hinduja from 2019, UG from Ramakrishna Engineering College, Coimbatore. Currently working in GE Healthcare, Hyderabad for the past 2 years. Great. Okay. So you're still working, Hinduja. How will you manage your course also? So you know you will be able to take some time off. It's good to know. Then we have Padma Shri. She's from Masters MIT Hamirpur. Okay, Hamirpur. I guess it's in Himachal Pradesh. As I told, I graduated from Warangal, so I heard this place. And MEPCO Shrink Engineering College, Tamil Nadu. I guess Padma, that's based out of Shivakasi, if I'm not wrong. Some of my friends and family members study from MEPCO. That's a good private engineering college in that area. Then we have Raghu from Lovely Professional Institute, Punjab. Good, Raghu. When some of our alumni are from LPU. Okay. Then we have Gautam. Gautam waiting for my results. So KSR College of Technology. Okay. So Gautam, are you from Trichangot? That KSR IT? That's pretty close to my native place. As you told, I'm from Erode. That KSR, I guess it's just extension of Erode. Just exit from Erode and near Salem. Just confirm that. Then we have Namrata. She's from Basava Kalyan Engineering College from 2020 batch. Okay, all right. Which place is this college, Namrata? Is it somewhere in Dharwad, Hubli area? If I'm not wrong. Then we have Hitesh from Mumbai, AC Patil Engineering College, Mumbai, 2021 batch. Glad to see 2021 guys because I'm not sure they completed the final exams. Maybe they should be doing it in a few months. I don't know because there's a whole lot of thing going around pandemic exams and stuff like that. I'm not sure, but it's good to see. You're not wasting your time in waiting for something to get over. Okay, so Hitesh Kumar Dobi. Okay, yeah, nice to know Hitesh. Then we have Indu Nikhil. She's from ME, from SRM Valliammai College 2015. I have worked as a lecturer in engineering college for 4.6 years. Looking forward to switch career. Very nice, Indu. Okay, we have an aptitude trainer, we have a professor, so you guys can help us, right? Okay, welcome, Indu. Good to know your teaching background, and it always helps, to have some perspective. We'll talk about your career switch, etc., in the first subsequent slides. So we have Akansha. She's from JNEC Aurangabad, 2019. So what were you doing, Akansha, from 2019? It will be helpful for me to get to know your background. Then we have Nikita from 2020 from VTU. She was working in Asmita Wireless. Okay, I guess some of our students also get hired there, if I'm not wrong. So did you quit your job, Nikita? So we have Hinduja saying, yes, sir, I'm taking time off for learning this course. I'm managing both. Very good, Hinduja. It's going to be really challenging. I'll assure you that because there'll be a lot of work coming in form of assignments and projects. But if you can do that, that's really great. Take it as a challenge. Good number of them have done it. I'm sure you will. Then we have Vamsi from SVIT Anandpur, 2018. So Vamsi, it will help me if you can tell me what we've been doing since 2018. Then we have Shashank from Sagar Institute of Technology. Barabakni. I don't know where this location is. Sagar, you can tell me or I need to search in the map. I've not heard about that particular location. So he's done apprentice in Gale, operation maintenance, and laying and joining of underground cable for 2 years. Okay, so more of a field kind of a work you've done, looks like. Shashank, welcome again. Then we have Shuhaib from ECE, NSS College of Engineering, Palakkad. Welcome, Shuhaib. Then we have Siddharaj from Electronics and Telecommunication from BVM Engineering College. I worked as a production engineer for 6 months. Right now doing my family business of dairy products. Nice, Siddharaj. Okay, nice to know, going back to roots and doing something related to the agriculture, dairy, etc. Nice to know that. Then we have Akansha Singh working as a GT in Endress Horses. Okay, all right. You're still working, Akansha? Then you have Sheetal. Sheetal is from Gorakhpur. Oh, wow. Okay. Gorakhpur is, I guess, in UP. That's where I guess your chief minister, Mr. Yogi, is from. If I'm not wrong, Sheetal. I done my BTech from Buddha Institute of Technology in 2020. Welcome to the program, Sheetal. Okay. Then we have Harsh from 2020 batch. St. Francis Institute of Technology, Mumbai. Okay, I worked as a web solution specialist in the endurance group for 4 to 5 months. Okay, good. Welcome to the program, Harsh. Then we have Umesh Patil. Okay, we have Harsh Patil and then Umesh Patil. Two Patils here. Okay. He is also he's from AC Patil. Oh, college name is a Patil. Very nice. Okay, good to know. 21 batch. Very nice to see. Then Manish Panda, 2018 from International Institute of Information Technology, Pune. I guess Manish, one of our seniors studied here. I think his name was Sandeep Katare, if I'm not wrong. He used to study with us, I think, in 2017-18 timeline. I don't know whether you know him. He got admitted from University of Surrey, okay, UK, but couldn't go due to pandemic. Then he moved to learn gaming development, but wanted to back to embedded systems. Good to know, Manish. Back to your core. Okay, okay, all right, Nikita, got it. Then we have Varsha from 2019, 1 year experience in Genpact. All right. So Varsha, did you quit your job or still working? Then we have Amrit, BTech from Reva, finished my engineering. I had campus placement offer from Capgemini, but I declined as I was pursuing job in core industry. So Amrit, that is very interesting because as we speak, Capgemini, which is traditionally known for application consulting, it's a French-based company. Some of you might have heard this name. So Capgemini is on a acquisition mode where they acquired a company called Altron. I don't know, some of you would have heard this. Altron, before it became Altron was acquired by Capgemini. Altron acquired another bunch of companies. So let me just give you guys a little bit of idea here, so that we talk about placements, right? Just since Amrit brought in the topic of Capgemini, let me spend a minute and then we will move to the topic. Sorry. Next slide. So Amrit is talking about Capgemini, right? Capgemini. So Capgemini is now coming very big in embedded. Why? Because they've been traditionally, an application development company, or they were into consulting. If you see in the US, they work on more of consulting, business consulting type of projects, right? So they now are coming big time into the core, which is our area called embedded. So what has happened? They acquired a company called Altron, which is traditionally another. I think it's also a French company. So before Altron has got another bunch of companies. For example, you would have heard of a company called Aricent. Aricent is another core company, which is again networking telecom company. Then there is a company called Global Edge. I don't know whether you've heard this. Global Edge, is also acquired by Altron. And I'm not sure one more company which hires. I'm not able to immediately call out some XYZ company which hires. So these three companies which I talk about, Aricent, Global Edge, and these XYZ, they used to hire from us as separate companies. Now after some time, they started hiring in form of Altron, and now they're hiring in form of Capgemini. And our folks, when they're recruited, they're getting into the embedded practice only, right? In fact, some of our people whom we used to interact when they were Aricent, they directly moved to Capgemini, under this merger and acquisition, right? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, if you see in case, Tech Mahindra or Capgemini in our placement logos, don't get scared. I don't want to get into core. When we send, they, send it to the core projects only. For example, Capgemini, when we spoke, right? Our students are getting deployed as Cisco networking based projects, right? Not on any application development. Just since Amrit brought this particular Capgemini, so I just wanted to share it. Okay, don't get worried. Even if you see names like L&T in our placements, right? Don't get scared. L&T is a very big company. When our students get hired, they go to the embedded vertical. Okay. So Manish, okay, I wanted to move back into this domain. So, okay. So Shashank says Barabanki is near Lucknow, UP. All right. Okay. Very good. So Akansha says yes, sir. Okay. Sheeta also says yes. Okay. How about the Gorakhpur? So then we have Shweta. I have completed my engineering in electronics and communication 2017. So Shweta, you can also tell what you've been doing. So Vamsi, okay, Vamsi attempted GATE, then he got a job in HCL, didn't get released. So I thought of learning good technology engineering. Very good, Vamsi. Okay, I quit my job. All right, sure. So Amrit says I was trained in .NET core domain. Okay, all right. I think the third company is Pricol. Hinduja says I'm not sure. Hinduja, okay, the third company. Pricol, I guess it's again a Coimbatore-based company, if I'm not wrong. They also used to come for our hiring some time back. There are some 4 or 5 companies which they hired. Again, Aricent again goes back to history where they had a company called Flextronics in India. Then Flextronics acquired a company called Hughes Telecom. There's a huge what do you call A buys a company called B buys a company called C. It's a huge acquisition thing. Hinduja. Okay, good. Thanks for adding that name. So we have Krishna from Tripoli working in software testing. So is it possible that I can be able to manage both? So it is possible, like I told to Hinduja just above you, Krishna, but only thing is you need to find time. Okay? By working from home, I'm pretty sure you will be able to, because if not anything else, if you're working in a city like Bangalore, at least you save 2 to 2.5 hours in traffic itself, right? Going and coming and then getting ready, etc. Here you don't need to do anything, just wear a t-shirt and then sit at home, right? Okay, that saves the time. So please utilize those time. I'm sure you'll be able to do that. People have done that. Then we have Siddharth Rautre. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Siddharth is from IIEST Shivpur. I don't know which Shivpur from Siddharth, which state it is. I'm not sure. In power electronics. All right. So thank you very much, guys, for introducing yourself. As you can see, we have people from all the states or cities. You can say, people from Kerala coming in, people from Karnataka, of course, right? In Tamil Nadu, you can see people from Maharashtra, UP, right? Okay, various places, various towns. That's very good to know. As I told, one of the reasons why I spend time in introducing ourselves quite a bit is because not only that, even you guys need to know each other, because you'll be interacting with each other as you move forward. So it's very important that you come to know each other. Did all of you guys introduced? Shall we proceed? Shall we proceed? Is anybody else missing to introduce yourself? Okay. Shweta says worked as a engineer for a period of 1 year in UR Rao Satellite Center. Okay, that was a contract. All right, yeah. So because all your NILs, ISROs, DRDOs, good bunch of them work in a contract mode only. That's fine. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. Let us get back to the presentation now. these are the company, about myself, about you guys. Um, right, this is a quite a unprecedented situation, right, that we are in. Ever since last March, the COVID has taken the whole world upside down, and there is so many rumors, so many information that you are hearing from the media, and also people are airing out these things in newspapers, etc. Right? People say we are into recession. What about my future? Because you guys come in different forms and sizes, right? Some of you are working, but you want a better job. Some of you just finished your engineering, want to get into a core job, and some of you are just about finishing your engineering. And especially if you're a 2021 pass out, last 1 year has been terrible, where even you're attending your semesters and your exams online, you're not seeing each other. It's been a very challenging state, and especially I would say the last 2 months, the April mid to June mid, I would say, when the second wave was at peak, I think it's been devastating. I'm pretty sure, all of you, each one of you would have come across a situation where, either your immediate circle, immediate family, or definitely in your friends and family network, some or the other people might have got affected, or even, some of them might have got passed away, right? And the challenging aspect of the second wave is we even seen people in their 20s and 30s losing their life. It's been very, very challenging times. In fact, it's been very challenging for myself. Around just after last induction program, last batch, even I got affected, along with my family. So thankfully, it was all minor infection. We could recover with a home quarantine. So the point I'm trying to drive here is, it's not something which any of our previous generations have seen. Even if you go and ask your father and grandfather, they have not seen a pandemic like this. So it's been a very challenging state. All of us are going through a lot of stress and challenges. So which hopefully settling down with more vaccines getting mainstream from yesterday. Hopefully, we'll be better prepared at least, before people even scaring us about the third wave, etc. Right? But what we are trying to do here, the idea that we are trying to plant at your head is like to see what we can do about this in the given scenario. Yes, many of the things are out of our control. Neither you nor me can go and put off a show magic band like Harry Potter and then put off all the pandemic. Right? Even governments are struggling. In fact, even some of the developed countries are struggling. So it's been a very challenging times. So what you can do about this in this situation, right? And who can help us, who can mentor us, and then make our career give a what do you call career push or a career turnaround. That's why you can see people coming from professorship, right, leaving their job after 4 or 5 years, or even working a contract job, etc., or even just getting started. Can we do something about this, right? So that's the whole scenario we're sitting in, and it's not something new. In the if you look back when we passed out, at least when completed my engineering in 2001, the 9/11 attack happened. Then the telecom and the networking bubble has burst, right? So that was a scenario. And even if you have heard about this Y2K jobs, where people were scared about how the computers will behave in the year 2000. So there are a lot of jobs, which was vanished overnight, and the whole world went into recession in 2001. Okay? But if you look at every recession or every challenge that world has gone through, it is only after that challenge. Of course, it's very tough to go through, but after that, it has always became better. For example, after 2001, I know just go back and see the timeline of the major embedded systems R&D centers. They opened up their India center after the 2001 recession. Name Cisco, name Intel, named Texas Instruments. Oh, Texas Instruments came very early. But if you look at 2001 is when they started expanding. Earlier they started something called outsourcing. For example, a company like HP, even for that matter. So they used to outsource to Wipro. They used to outsource to TCS, right? Then they decided, it's not only about outsourcing. They also have quality manpower in India who can do, good R&D work, especially in the areas like embedded systems. So that's when they started their R&D centers post 2001. Then it grew much bigger after that, right? Same thing happened around 2008 when the Lehman Brothers meltdown happened in the US. Right? The subprime crisis has happened. And that has led to a scenario where a lot of money, people who had, they invested in this real estate in the US, that a good chunk of money started moving to India. That's when companies, the startups which are based out of India, like Flipkarts and the Swiggies of the world, started getting funding. And now they're all called unicorn, right? More than 1 billion evaluation, including Byju's and many other companies, right? So that is what it has resulted in. Okay, in the similar lines, more than 2001 and 8, the challenge has been very deep in 2020, 2021, which is extending the COVID situation, right? Because if you look at the previous two recessions, it has affected only one particular sector or one particular industry. But 2020 is something which has affected every individual. For example, if you just walk around the streets in your hometown, wherever you are, the number of small businesses, right, whether it could be somebody selling a small, pan dukan, or somebody is even doing some kind of what do you call, newspaper wala, right? They all gone out of business. Right? It's been a very, very challenging time. But what I'm hearing, last week or so, I've been talking with some other people in the US. They are telling like, it is recovering a lot. At least the Western world, starting from US, they are in a situation where they're much better situation in terms of handling the pandemic, and the government is pushing a lot of money into the economy. I guess Joe Biden is pushing somewhere about 5 trillion money into the economy, right? So where they're expecting a bounce back, right? So when I say bounce back, how it is going to affect us positively, right? Negatively, definitely we've seen so far in the past 1.5 years. So what we are seeing a very clear, what you call, improvement in terms of our placements, right? This is a graph. I would request all of you to pay close attention in this. So the blue ones are the things which has happened in the year 2020, right? 2020, in our placement department, we count our placement based on the number of drives we do. So drives in the sense like a company comes and then they say they need trained embedded students, and then we float an application with our students. I'll explain that process anyways. After that, they shortlist our students and they call our students for interview or a test. It's actually we call drive. So we look at 2020, it started off quite well. Around 22 drives we did. February, anyways, was a little shorter, about 18 drives we did. And March was looking really good, where we started getting, let us say, about 13 drives. You can see this number, right? 13. These 13 drives have happened around the March 15th, right? This has happened by March 15th. Okay, so we did so much of drives by then. But what happened? March 15th is a time when the lockdowns and all started getting announced, and all of a sudden our students were kicked out of PGs, and companies really don't have any idea how long it is going to last, things like that. Then what has happened in April? The placement took a nosedive. We only could conduct only one drive, and all of a sudden, people who were even sitting in the physical classroom in our center in Bangalore, they need to move back to their hometown, right? So it was a very, very challenging situation. I guess throughout April last year, we were, even in fact, we were in a nationwide lockdown. Even though this year it was statewide, right? And then states are kind of, lifting and again going back to lockdown mode. Or district where they're doing lockdown, but last year it was very bad, where we had a national level lockdown, so the hiring went even down. So that's when we, even as mentors in university, we were like quite clueless, right? We are thinking like, how do we do with our students, right? They're all wherever, like similarly, you guys are sitting in different towns and cities of the country. They went back to the native. They're sitting there and they're scared, what about my future, right? So we quickly shifted them to online. In fact, we did our started doing our sessions by March end itself. Then what we started seeing from May onwards, the companies slowly started adapting the digital mode of hiring. Companies also realized it's not going to get over in a week or two or a month or two. So you can see right around May, June timeframe, the drive started slightly picking up. And then July onwards, we started seeing trends, more of an upward trend. So that's when we say, people getting trained online, okay, because online learning itself is a challenge. So I would say getting trained online plus getting placed online, because the whole interview process is happening, and joining the company also online. Okay, so joining the company online. So everything started happening online. In fact, some of the students, if you go and see even today, They got a job in May of last year. It's almost more than a year. They're still working from home. They're not even seeing their colleagues physically. They're not even seeing their managers, right? So that's a scenario. So companies started adapting to this digital mode of learning, and then the 820 was slightly better off when we move to later months, right? Okay. So even today, if you look at, I would say more than 95% the companies are hiring in digital mode only, because when we started this particular course, completely online course also, we initially thought the students should come to Bangalore and attend and all. Nothing required, even though it might show in the slides later. Don't need to worry. You can stay at home and then attend these drives, right? So that's the current scenario. 95% of the companies have. Only very few of them are coming to come physically for the interview. That also they're checking with the student. Even travels, it's been challenging. For example, if somebody's in Bangalore, right? I saw some of you said they're from Bangalore. Only those students are allowed to attend, right? After taking necessary precautions, we are sending them. Or if you're nearby place like Mysore or Ramnagar or something, where you can come, or Tumkur, right? You can come and attend the interview and go, right? Maybe you can even come by your bike or some of your own transport. So that's what is happening. Okay, so the even certification also moved on. So that's when we are now. We can say we are 100% digital, scenario that we are operating at. Okay. So now the scenario, let me rub off. So this was a story about 2020, which is the blue thing which we saw. And as I told, right, we could see a significant bounce back in terms of economy, especially the US economy, where we are seeing, right, a lot of work is already moving to India, right? Even though I would say January started little cautiously because companies were opening up little slowly, but if you see from, February, March, April, you can see, right, we are doing really, really good number of placement drives, right? You can see last April versus this April, there's no comparison at all, right? And June, as I speak, we already completed 23 placement drives, around another, I guess 5 to 6 drives should be there. So we can roughly assume that in another week, we should be touching anywhere around 30 drives. So that's a target that we are doing, and we're seeing a significant traction, in terms of the number of companies who are approaching us, who are in conversation with us, and especially in these first half of this year so far, we could see almost all type of companies hiring. Big companies like, for example, Qualcomm or NXP or Honeywell, Robert Bosch, they're hiring. Right, I'm sure you would have checked our website. In case we have queries, go back and check in our website. But anyways, we'll be part of a tool group also, where you'll get to know all the information on a daily basis, right? Plus, we also have a lot of startups which are hiring, mid-sized companies are hiring. So it's been a heavy hiring happening, and very good chunk of students are getting placed. Now I'm part of WhatsApp group, where we congratulate the students. I'm seeing every day so many students are getting placed. So every day hiring activities also happening, students are getting jobs, right? So that's the current scenario. So the message that I wanted to drive you guys, is two. One is, like, for example, this is a real data. There's nothing, we put some Excel and generated it. So it's a transparent and open data, which is what there in our website also. When it comes to placements, even training for that matter, all the information is available in our website. But since you guys are student side, I thought I will show you these comparison graphs also. Yes, there was a challenge last year, especially around the March, April timeframe, which is shown. But from there, we have significantly moved on, and this year has been really, really good in terms of placements. Okay, so when it comes to placement, another two things that I wanted to share before I open up for questions is that because many of you, when we introduced yourself, right, you spoke about your year of pass out. That's why I asked you to introduce. When you said I'm in 2018, what are you doing from this, right? Or even for that matter, you may be having certain percentage, in your mind, right? I'm having 65. Somebody is having a 70. I don't know. I didn't ask about the percentage or CGPA. So this is one thing which may be running in your mind, right? What if I'm a 2018 batch, right? Or what if I'm a 2017 batch or 19 batch, whatever it is, right? Okay. So what will happen to me? Okay, I would say nothing will happen to you. Okay, because all the companies who are hiring, whichever we are showing, please note they're coming and hiring to us because we are going to train you in a particular skill area. Okay, not because you are from a 2018 or 19. So, my request is, one is, this is a realistic data to show how the placement is growing this year. Another important part is, I want you to please take this thinking out of your mind. Don't think I'm a 2017, should I be worried? So you do whatever is being told by the mentors. Even you are a 2021 also, right? And some of you are working also. I told the same thing. Your focus should be on the skilling part. Okay, and then you will get enough and more amount of opportunities. And this is a real data I'm presenting, right? And I hope you also clear that, in our placement or in our initial discussions you might have spoken, you will get placement opportunities up to 1 year after the course completion. So let me explain that also. So this is like, for example, June 2021. Let us say you can start applying around, let us say around third month, you can start applying for placement, June, July, August. So you can roughly think, around August, you can start applying for your placements. So June, July, August, September, October. So around, let us say, October, your course gets over. Okay, just a rough mathematics I'm putting. So this is October 2021, right? So you will get placement support up to October 2022. So which means to say what? This is a 12-month here. 12 months you'll get placement support. And then you can start applying around the third month itself. You can just put roughly around 3 months, right? So in total, 15 months you get placement support. Okay. So this, so what happens is, even if my say tomorrow you go and open up our Google group, I'll show that shortly. You may see that companies are hiring for 2020 only or 2021 only. You might see 2-3 companies and get scared. I said, don't get scared. We have done a very detailed analysis of companies, which year of pass out they hire, etc. So you will get, definitely good number of opportunities irrespective of your year of pass out. Okay. All you need to focus is on skill building, work on your assignments, work on your projects. Even if you're working professional, I told, right, it will be challenging for sure, but ensure that you build on those assignment and projects. So definitely when the placement opportunity comes to you, you will be able to crack it. Okay, so that's a brief update about what is happening in the market, what are the challenges that is being posted by the pandemic, and the realistic information about placements. Because I felt ever since the pandemic has started, it's important that we discuss or clarify this point before we get into induction, right? Okay, so that's what I did. So now I'll stop and then open up for questions. So please feel free to type questions about placements or whatever we discussed. We'll answer and then proceed. Okay. Take your time. I will pause for a few minutes.
Hello, sir.
Sir, I was in mute. Okay. So Annapurna is asking, so I know very little about coding. Will it affect me during the course? No problem, Annapurna, because all the students come with a similar background. Okay, but you require coding skills in order to get into these jobs, whatever we are just showing in the slide. So follow what the mentors are telling, how they're teaching. It will start from the scratch, okay, and then you will be able to pick up. Okay, all the students who are coming and joining us had a similar challenge, so you will be able to overcome the challenge. Okay. So Indu is asking, should we prepare for aptitude also? will there be any such round in the drive? So better you prepare by yourself, Indu, because we try to prepare for aptitude. In fact, some of the question papers what we give in the preparation, we try to improve, but it's always a challenge for our mentors because we want to focus on our embedded and the core technical topics. So I would suggest, anyways, it will come later the slide also. Three things I say to students. One is like what do you call your general aptitude, okay, and the apti, what do you call, okay. Then second thing is that companies also would expect you to know your basic electronics, for example, right? What you studied in your college, basic electronics, like for example, something about your digital electronics, or some basic questions about transistors, etc. This is important. Then the third thing, if you're having some work experience, right? If you have whatever the projects that you worked on in your company, so you can expect questions from these areas also during your interview. Okay. So I would suggest these three areas you need to cover it by yourself. Okay. So I would suggest you don't need to wait for our course to get into the place where you start applying for placements. You can start preparing immediately. Right. So let me go back. There are a good number of questions coming. Then Vishant is asking, sir, just completed third year. Will I be eligible for placement? So Vishant, another important thing, all the companies which are hiring from our students, so they expect the students to join immediately. It's not like campus interview where they come on third year, give an offer, then you complete your final year and then join. All the companies come to us because we have as I told, skilled manpower available, and then those students can join immediately. Okay. So in your case, Vishal, no worries. You can complete your engineering. Okay. And then, in fact, I would say you've done a good thing, because by the time your friends and your batchmates, let us say you are passing out in the year 2022, by the time they finish and then they start applying for jobs, right? You're already skilled, right? You're already ahead of them in the job market. So no worries, you complete your engineering. In case even the course gets over before your engineering also, that's also fine. You can complete your engineering. From the time you complete your engineering, we can support you for 1 year, no problem, because it's a specific case. If you want, you can just send a update to our placement team also. Keep us posted that when you are completing your engineering, we will support you. In fact, in other batches also, we have students who are similar to you. For them also, we told the same thing. Okay. So wait, finish your engineering. In the meantime, you'll have ample opportunity to learn and build your resume, make it really impressive, and then go for it. Okay. Hope that clarifies, Vishant. Then we have Varsha says, I'm from CSE background. I didn't come across EC subject as it will be tough to learn from code. Not necessarily, Varsha, even if you're from CSE, because I am from CSE. Okay. Even if you're from CSE, you would have learned certain topics from the EC department, right? I'm talking about basics. You don't need to know very detail about electronics, right? But whatever is there in the course, no worries, right? You can learn whatever our mentors are telling. You will be able to learn. Even we had people from mechatronics background, etc. You can learn, no problem. Because there is also previous question about new to programming, etc. Right? You don't need to. So I'm specifically talking about preparing on electronics for the interviews, right? From that perspective. So you should be able to easily learn. There I'm talking about only basics, okay, of electronics, which you'd already studied. Okay. Then we have Praveen. So what if we place in a company and the salary package is less? Can we still have a chance to apply for another company with the higher package? Okay. The answer is no. Okay. So anyways, I'll show you, right? There is a company which is like, coming on a very frequent basis, right? In Emergy, we tell the companies also, like how we are committing something to you guys, right? We'll also commit something to the companies. So what are we telling? We are telling the companies, right? We are telling like that 100% joining rate. That means if any company they come and give an offer to a student, that student will join. Okay. So so they will not reject. Okay. So you cannot have, like, for example, in some colleges they have this idea of dream job, etc., where I get one job and then they will try for a higher package company, right? That will not work here because I don't want to have a scenario. Let us say there are about 30 plus students in this batch, in this particular batch now, in your batch. I don't want a scenario where one student who is really good, who gets two jobs, and whereas another student goes without job, right? We don't want a scenario like that. We want a scenario where both the students get one job. So that is not allowed. But in case if you're very particular about that, no, sir, I will only apply for, higher salaried companies only. First and foremost thing is demonstrate your performance. You are in the higher band of performance. I'll talk about it. Then you can apply only for those companies. There is no force, right? Let me just show you guys. Let me, when we talk about companies, right? You guys will be part of this Google group. Let me open the Gmail. Let me go to our emergency ID. You go to forums, right? You can see here, this is anyways, you'll be part of it, right? Okay, everything will be communicated here, right? So here you will have a company which is having a range of salary levels. For example, I would say we have something like Infinity Auto Solutions, selections. Uh, Let me show you this. Uber is a new company. It's a Sweden-based electronics company has come. If you look at them, right, their salary levels are not very good. If you look at it, somewhere around 9 to 12 lakhs per annum. Okay, we have companies like this. On the contrary, I also have, let us say Univision, right? Look at Univision. Okay, they are telling first 6 months it will be 1.2 lakhs, after that it will be 3 lakhs, right? It varies. So suppose Praveen or any student, right? Should I apply here or should I apply there? It is your wish. Okay. From emergency side, we are not going to force you. You can apply or not apply to any, but you need to be eligible, right? You need to have that academics, if you have completed that particular module, etc. Assuming that you are eligible, there is no force from our side. Okay. So hope that clarifies, Praveen. Okay. If you still have questions, please feel free to type. Okay, there are already many questions. Okay. Manish asking, sir, for 2018 passwords, companies will ask for experience in that particular field. Then what are the chances of those students to grab the job role? So they won't be asking any experience, Manish, right? What we tell them is, there are students who are from 2018, 17. All of them has gone to the same course, right? When they hire you for an entry level embedded engineer position, right? They don't hire you for a, as I told you right already, they don't hire you for a 2018 or 2017, right? If they want to do that, they can very well do a campus recruitment, right? They're not really bothered about that. They're bothered about, whether you can you demonstrate those skill set in the interview. So that's what they come here for. So you don't need to worry, even if you, that's why I asked you the question. Suppose you were a 2017 pass out or 18 pass out, you tried for certain higher studies, or some of them would have tried for GATE, or some of them are having, let us say, teaching experience, right? Whatever it is, you tell. Okay. And when they are going to assess you in the interview, they're going to assess you based on what you learned in the course rather than what you've done in the past, right? Okay, suppose you might have some students who come to us, with the application background, right? They say, sir, I worked in TCS for 1 year, right? I was in the part of Java development profile. I want to come to code, right? So they won't evaluate it based on Java. They will evaluate what you learned in our course. So there is absolutely nothing to get concerned about. Should I show experience or should I worried about old era password? I would say look forward. Whatever you are going to learn in the course, do well, then definitely you'll be able to crack the placements. Okay. So Indu says okay. So Arsha says, can we attempt the same company for which we got rejected last time in the upcoming months? Again, Harsha, it depends on the company. For example, some companies, I don't know whether you've seen that. Let me say, I think Saskin has come today. So look at this. Okay. We'll be putting a note here, right? Student who applied last time but did not get shortlisted can apply once again, right? Student who applied and shortlisted before October can apply, right? Okay, because some companies, especially the big companies, will allow the reapplication after some period. For example, October means it's just roughly about 6-8 months, right? They will apply. It depends. It varies from company to company. Some company will allow, some company won't allow. The company allows, we don't have any problem. From emergency side, we don't have any problem. You can apply. Okay, this asking is, today, you see, it just came around, when did it came, this mail? You can say around after we started induction, this mail came, right? Or 11:30, just before that. Okay. So that way, this is a good example for us to understand, right? Okay. So then Krishna says, can I be able to attend the class and lab session on the weekend if I'm not able to attend class session time. Okay, that is not possible, Krishna. The live lab will be from Monday to Saturday. You have to attend. In worst case, I don't recommend to miss any classes at all. In case there is a network issue or there is some unforeseen circumstances, let us say which happens, let us say 5% of the scenario, right? All of you will be provided with the recorded version of the classes, right? Whatever you're attending, even, and that's what I did today also. I'm recording this induction session. Later point in time, I will probably, put it in some location. To start with, I'll put it in YouTube because you guys don't have the access to our learning management system or what you call LMS. So later you will get a access to that. So all the classes will be recorded and given to you also. So that way you can, or even some of you have attended the class, but some particular section of the class you couldn't understand. Let us say, or you forgot, right? You can come back, look into the videos, and then move on, right? All the classes will get recorded. So you can manage with that. Will they specify the package before the hiring process? Yes, Harsha. Okay, as I told you, the complete information given to you. You can see here, this is our job application, right? The company website, name, and which profile they work, some of the specific things like this, right? And then what is the skill set, what modules you should have completed before you apply, as I told in emergency. What is the academic criteria and what is the salary? For example, what is a bond? Even nowadays, we are using this also, right? The location, job location, due to current situations, work from home, later work from office, and how the interview is going to happen, right? What is the when you need to apply and what is the link to apply? Okay, the complete information is available to you in every application, not only in SASCN. Suppose I go for, let us say, another let us say this company, right? Okay, this company you see, no year of password, no percentage criteria. They have through-year bond, right? So every information is upfront shared with you. Okay, so you can see them and then decide accordingly. And then Varsha saying, recently I came across one statement that core companies are not preferring employees from CSC or IT background. No, Varsha, okay, you don't need to worry. That's not a that may be some statement somebody would have told. As I already told you, all the companies come to us because of the skill set of what our students are having. Whether they're in fact good number of our students are from EEE, some of them from mechatronics. Okay, only thing what we don't allow our students, right? Some students come and ask me, sir, I'm from mechanical, can you do that? Right? Only for them we don't allow. Okay? This companies won't allow because mechanical, as you know, they don't have any idea about programming or even electronic subjects, right? Only for them we deny the even deny the admission, right? Okay, that's the only issue. But if you look at CSE, EEE, ECE, or some colleges have got biomedical, some has got telecommunication variant, some has got instrumentation, as well mechatronics. All these branches you don't need to worry. Okay, so similar to what I told about era password and percentage, leave. Companies also don't bother much about the branches. So my request all of you is that don't look at the past, right? Whatever you have done in the past, whether you era password, etc., that will remain the same. See what you can do as you move forward. Okay. So absolutely no worry whether you are from a CSE branch. So brief us about interview guidance given at MSG, Shankar. So give me some time. That's a Disha session. That's a slide I will explain. We just did not get into the slide itself. I'll definitely talk about that. Okay. So Manish says thank you. So what are the job roles we'll be taking up and recruited? Amrit, just hold on, Amrit. I'll discuss about this also in the subsequent slides. Okay. Package is not mentioned, sir. LPH there, no. You look at this. It's there, no. Harsha. Okay. Harsha is very particular. Okay. Where is the salary? Show me. Everything is there. Even if the previous shown also, right? For example, if the KPIT, right? It's there. Every application standard. In fact, we don't float any application or we don't send any application to you guys without the salary numbers. Don't worry. Even at bond, right? Okay, any company says 2-year bond is required. We put everything. Okay. In fact, we tell the companies also, you need to make this information very clear to our students, right? Even work location. And some companies would say there are multiple offices. They say, okay, you should be work from Bangalore, should be work from Chennai, or even Hyderabad, right? We make that also clear. Okay. So every information is given to you, absolutely very clear and transparent to all of you. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Any other questions? Or if no questions, at least type no questions, we can proceed, right? So that I'll move to the next slide. Okay, Harsha says no more questions. Good, Harsha. Others, can I get some responses? Okay, Annapurna says no more options. Okay, no more questions. I guess that's what he meant, Annapurna. Okay, shall I proceed, guys? All right, thank you, Gautam, Raghu. Okay, all right, yeah, thank you. Because I really want to ensure you guys are being clear. Okay, so this is important for you to know because there's a lot of media and then rumors, hearsays that's happening. Right? It's important that we have this in our mind clearly, so that as you move forward, when you go to the course or when you do our assignments, etc., you're very clear about what you're doing. All right. So let me now get into our main section. I would say about our course. How does the other work? Because some of you asked about the interview preparation, etc. We'll talk about this, right? So course details, placements, how it works, even though we briefly touched upon, we'll also talk about certification and some do's and don'ts. Okay. So as I told you, Emergy is a company. We are in the skill building area. We start with the entry level skill building, like what we do for you guys. Then we work all the way up to very experienced people, or even for that matter, corporate training, activities, right? We provide those courses also at the senior levels, right? So at any program that we do, whether it's an integral program or a corporate or working professional program, one thing we ensure is that maintain a 70-30 ratio. That is 70% of the course is delivered in a practical manner, right? So when you learn things practically, then what happens? One, you learn in the right way, because engineering or embedded is all about problem solving and doing things practically. Second thing, if I just stop and look back, or even just see in the chat window, if you go back and see the questions, some of the questions that I asked, right? So one of the key challenge, it's very very normal. I don't want to put in a negative notation on a right. A very normal thing that all of you have is this particular problem of confidence. Okay, majority of you lack this. Why you are lacking this? Because you don't have the necessary skill. You all are qualified. Some of you have done MTech, doing the MTech even work, right? But what is the reason why still you're not feeling comfortable? You're not feeling comfortable because you lack in confidence. Okay. So as you go through very practical knowledge, when your skill builds up. Okay. In fact, I even tell in our Disha workshops also, right? When the skill goes up, naturally confidence goes up. Okay. That's why even we don't believe in Emergy calling some what do you call spoken English coaching. We don't give, right? What is spoken English coaching? Right? You all know English well. Okay. As long as you are going and expressing the technically correct answer, they'll select you. Okay. So we don't believe in communication skill coaching at all. We tell you build your skill, confidence will naturally increase, then you go and crack it. Right? That's a thumb rule what we have. So if you have these doubts, if you have this what do you call question in your mind, it is very normal coming from your situation. I can completely understand, and I would say it's nothing specific to you. Right? Every student who walks into our institute has got the same doubt, but when they get a job, that particular doubt vanishes, right? When they have an offer letter, when you meet them after they get a job, right? The last 2 weeks back, there was I think about some 15 students got selected in Bosch. So I arranged a meeting with them, and then I asked him, "Hey guys, what do you think?" Now he said, "Sir, I never believed I'll crack this, right? Okay." But what did they do? They were very regular. They worked hard. When the opportunity is presented to them, they were able to take a benefit of it. That will happen to you also. I'm not necessarily telling it about Bosch, any other company for that matter, right? So that's about the idea about sorry, yeah, I think. And then coming to the course, this is the brief of our course, which is like a 4.5 months course with a virtual classroom and interventions. Virtual classroom here, I wanted to spend some time. Virtual classroom is something all of you will understand, right? There is nothing more for me to explain. What we are now doing is a virtual classroom where a mentor or instructor comes in a tool like Zoom or this GoToMeeting, Google Meet, anything for that matter, and he or she is talking in a live mode, right? There's live interaction happening, which is like fairly self-explanatory for you guys, right? But the very important part for me in induction to ensure that you guys get a very clear idea about these interventions. Okay. So according to us in Emergy, this virtual classroom is about the 20% of the story, where the mentor come, they deliver the course and go. That they will do anyways, right? Where they give the batch to them. We have very good team of mentors, right? They'll come and they will switch on your virtual room. They'll deliver and go, right? But according to me and our mentors, right, the 80% of the activity happens here, which is nothing but the practical aspects of it, right? So what do you mean by intervention? In fact, this question even come to many people. Okay, even they asked me initially when we launched this course, online course. They even asked me the question, hey, how your course is different from what is there in Udemy, right? Udemy, if you go, you'll get a course for 400 rupees, or even you go to EDX, right, or Coursera, where they'll give the content for free. And not only that, even if you go to NPTEL, right, there are a lot of other videos are there, right? How your course is different, okay? So I will tell, it is different, or, what we are very particular about this, right? I'll go back to this, right? Just understand this, right? Today, what is happening? Majority of the online courses, assume the person in the white, is you, right? Okay, these courses ensure that they will load you with so many contents. Okay, they will push you videos, they'll push you material, they'll push you, with assignments, etc. Whatever it is, right? You are like this, right? That's why even if you look at people who have taken online course, you will sign up for the course, you'll never complete. In fact, there are statistics that even in the popular online learning websites, right? So many millions of people enroll, but very less people complete. So why this is happening? Because you are not able to digest these contents. Okay, so what do? You give up in a very month or so. You give up. What do you say? This approach is not going to work for our emerging students. This is not going to work. Okay? Because if you do that, they will only get scared, and especially in an online, right? Physical domain, still I can see your faces, I can crack some jokes, I can meet you after the class physically, you can come to my cabin or mentor, any mentor for that matter. But online, it's very challenging, and all of you are sitting in different places, right? But what we tell is that this is not going to be the approach we are going to take. We take the approach what is there in this right side. Okay, where content is there, definitely we'll give you content. There is no doubt about that. Rather, we'll take the approach which is given here, where it is not only about the content, there is a support, right? Suppose a classroom is delivered. Let us say I'm teaching a concept in C programming called for loop, right? I come to 2 hours, I'll teach you, hey guys, this is how you write the for loop, and this is how and I can even demonstrate some code, and I can type some code and say, hey, this is how for loop works. Look at this number triangle, is how your print, this is a star triangle works, and you have a break, you have a continue, I can explain, right? The story doesn't end there. In Emergy, we have this level of this step-by-step mentoring and handholding. Okay, so the first step, as I already mentioned, it's a virtual classroom. It's fairly straightforward. That is for 2 hours per day. Okay, I would say that's only 20%, right? What is the remaining 80%? It starts from here, intervention sessions. So after the class is over, right, there'll be certain sessions planned where the mentor will come and explain you. Okay, in the intervention session, what happens? They will explain you a set of assignments, or they will, by the end of the module, they will even explain a project. Okay, they'll say, guys, you know what, for loop your mentor has thought, that's good. I understand you know how the for loop works, but you know what, that the learning doesn't stop there. Okay? You need to work on these 5 assignments about for loop. Okay? And here are the assignments, and this is the output that you are going to show. This is the sample example. Okay, and in order to do these assignments, okay, I will be available to you. Okay, so I will be giving you you all will be added to a WhatsApp group. Okay, in case you are stuck or if you have any doubt, you can put your question in WhatsApp. Okay, we'll respond to you. So we'll support. Then we also give you these assignments. 5 assignments need to be supported in a particular timeline. I'll say today is Tuesday. Let us say by this Saturday you need to submit these 5 assignments, and there's a tool where you need to go and upload your source code. Okay. Then the mentor will take a look, and then he will give you marks, or he or she will give you the grade. Okay. So this is where I would say you are producing the output. As I told you, right, the online, the previous image, where you go to EDX, they'll give you video after video, video after video, right? Or you, and some of you are very smart. When you want to complete the course, what do you do? Next, 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 submit. That's all over, right? Are you gaining anything out of it? No, right? Why you do? Because if you do NPTEL, I'll get one grade, or my professor asks you to do, right? That's not the way it's going to work here. Okay? Our mentors will push you. They will give. And at the same time, let us say I finish my for loop today, and then let us say tomorrow I'm starting while loop, right? The same thing will happen. Okay? After, let us say, another 2 days, the mentor will come and explain next 5 assignment in while loop. They will give you again timeline. They will also say, okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in this particular scenario, right? So this intervention session happens apart from the classroom, which is around 1.5 hours of session will happen around 2 or 3 days per week. And the support, right, will be available from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Your chat window, you will be able to ask the doubts. In fact, some of the students even reach out to late also. Okay, that's fine. Our mentors always encourage mentor students curiously learning about that. Okay, so but officially we can we say we support from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, so then once you do all these things, what happens? It finally only you'll become a you will get a placement ready final once you do. Sorry. So once you're done with this, finally, when we say you become placement ready. So this is very important aspect to understand, right? Not only this first step, which is obvious for you, this is very obvious for you to understand, but for me, it's very important that you understand steps number 2, 3, and 4, which is where I say 80% of the thing lies. And it's not going to be challenge. It's not going to be easy, right? Your placement will not come if you only sit for the virtual classroom and go away. Nothing will happen. Okay, it'll be as good as attending your NPTEL course or any other course for matter, right? That's why even I told you, our working people also, that your challenge will not be this. This you can do. Somehow you can squeeze your time between work and then you can manage, right? But managing this will be challenge. Take it on, right? It's possible to take it on and businesses. Okay, so this is a core differentiation about this particular course is going to be delivered, right? It's not chumma you play some video. Otherwise, results will not come, no? Otherwise, how so many companies will hire our students, right? Okay. That's the whole idea. Let me rub this also. Let's go back. So I would say this diagram, if you understand, it's well and good. Is this clear, guys? Are you clear about how your course is going to get delivered? And this applies to every module, right? Modules I talk about next, right? From module number 1 to module number 7, or last module, the methodology will remain same. Okay. Did you understand? I mean, can I get some responses? Okay. Great. Let me go back. Yeah. So this is the intervention part which I just mentioned. Okay. Now, when you talk about the embedded, another important aspect that comes on to you is about the hardware. Okay. This is again a classic question people will ask us all the time. Embedded is all about hardware. How are you going to do this in your online learning, right? Again, there is a lot of discussion and debate when we launched this program online. So if you come to our center, people, some of you are based out of Bangalore, we're not yet fully functional, right? Probably you can drop in and check, okay, what we do in our classroom. Let me go to Google. So you will require hardware for 2 modules. One is microcontrollers and another is for embedded Linux. So if you come to our center, when people are learning in a physical classroom, what they will do, they'll come to our reception. These boards are kept. This is a board. We learn microcontroller programming. They will check out from our admin team. They'll take it to their place. They will connect to their laptop, do all the experiment assignments and everything, and they go back. They give it back to our mentors and go. Okay. So when you're doing online, we have 2 options. One is like we somehow ensure we give this board to you. Okay. But one issue was if we need to give it the board to you, again you can see, right, it adds additional cost to you, right? We don't want to burden you guys, right? At the same time, we don't want to compromise on learning, right? So what our mentors have done, they have identified another thing called simulators, right? So for example, for microcontroller, which I showed you previously, right? We have this, again, an open source based simulator called PicSimLab. You can just go and check later also. And this PicSimLab will give you a simulator software which you need to install in your PC, right? You can see here, it will show an interface like this. And this interface pretty much looks like a same board, and you can do all the experiments. You can see here, there is a 7-segment display, there is a keypad, there is a, LCD, LED, everything is available, right? So, and what happens, suppose you try the source code in this particular simulator, 95% without any change. What I understand from my mentors that just you need to change some port configuration. The same code will work in the board which I showed previously also. Okay, so you don't need to worry in terms of the learning effectiveness. Using the simulators, your learning effectiveness will remain the same. And this is open source software. You don't need to pay a single rupee to install this. Our mentors, in fact, they help you to install this in your PC. Okay. The same thing goes for the other module, which is our embedded Linux module, where we have this particular board called BeagleBoard. BeagleBone board we used to teach embedded Linux. Again, you can see that's about 4,500 rupees, right? Where we teach how to bring up Linux on this. Right? This is a BeagleBone board. Some of you might have seen this also. So when you talk about our online students, in the similar line, we have another emulator called Kemu. Again, just search for Kemu emulator. So Kemu emulator will give you, which will help you to emulate the ARM architecture. You can see here in the desktop itself, right? You can see there is a ARM, what do you call, architecture, which is getting emulated here. Okay. Let me show you, right? You can see here, right? And ARM, this thing is getting emulated. So that way you can again install this emulator in your PC and learn the embedded Linux. You can customize your kernel. Using Kemu, you can bring up the Linux as if it is running in an ARM-based hardware, and then you can learn. Okay. So again, our mentors have innovatively or whatever effectively solved this hardware problem also. But if you are really hell-bent, saying that no, sir, I really want to try in your hardware, no problem. These links are available in public. Our mentors also can share you these links. If you can afford this, 5+4 or whatever, 9,000 rupees, you can buy it online and try it in your home itself. Absolutely no problem. Okay. So that's about the hardware part of the learning. Okay. Let me go back. And we have a continuous evaluation system. I'll talk about it shortly. Module specific project. Once the module gets over, you will be similar. Once you would have built in at least 30-40 assignments. By the end of the module, you'll also work on minimum one project. And by the time you finish the course, I would expect you to build minimum 7 to 8 projects, okay, which will really build your profile as an embedded engineer, right? Okay. And we have this track called Disha track, where we do all the preparation. I think there was a question about that. I'll answer that. Okay, so this is the overall course structure. Okay. We discussed about the core training delivery methodology, how we do. Then the components of it, further breakdown. Then when you do that, your skill level improving at multiple levels. I'll just show the next diagram, it will be better. Yeah. In level 1, this is more of a module view, right? We talked about the methodology, this is more of a subject, right, or a module level view. So you start with Linux systems, which is the first module, where you will get an introductory idea. Even our mentors will help you to install Linux in your laptop, and then start teaching you the basics from the basics. And by the way, we don't expect you to come with any previous knowledge, right? All the modules will assume that you have zero knowledge, and they will start from the scratch. Okay. Then you will do the C and C++ programming, which is, I would say, C programming is the heart of our course, where we really ensure you really build on logic. It's not, generally I hear students, right, whenever you open the topic of pointers in college, it's out of syllabus, right? Okay, here we give extensive stress on pointers, how you manage memory using pointers, right? How effectively you write your algorithms, right? That's going to be the focus, because embedded system is all resource optimization. So we'll get a view of that. Then C++, we do more of a workshop, which is a relatively shorter course, about, let us say, 2 weeks time, where we teach you the object-oriented programming, like classes, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, etc. So this is what you call, level 1, right, or L1. So once you complete these modules, right, you can start applying for placements. That's what I meant, right? Around third month, you'll be able to start applying. Once you come, because we expect you to at least be one level above the market skill level or the skill level which you are coming up now with, right? Okay. So once you're done with that, you can start applying. I don't know whether you saw in our job application module. So let me go back and show you. Okay. We will clearly mention which student can apply. Okay, which module can apply. So let me go back and yeah. So, and placements. So let us say Saskin, right? Saskin, along with all information you see here, students who completed till C module can apply. Okay, that's what we specify. Some companies will expect higher modules. Let's say, let me show value example. They also say C only. Sixth energy solutions. Okay, Robert Bosch. Okay, they want, for example, QTQML. Right, that's another module which you need to apply. Okay. So like that, Nagara Vision, you can see here, C module can apply. So we'll clearly specify which module can apply along with the academic criteria. If you're done with that particular module, you can go ahead and start applying. Okay. Then you further move on and learn the subsequent modules. Level 2 will be more of data structures, Linux internals and TCP/IP networking, and microcontrollers. Right? Data structures is more of an extension of C programming, where you learn about building stacks, queues, linked lists. That's when you really get into writing bigger programs or longer number of lines. For example, in data structure, you can easily write, let us say, 400 lines of C program comfortably. You should be reaching that stage, right? And similarly, you talk about Linux, right? In the first module, whatever you are learning Linux, this is more of an introductory level. You learn about basic commands and shell scripting and stuff like that. But when you come to this one, Linux again, I would say level 1 Linux, and then you can say even level 2 Linux. Here you learn next level. You learn about kernel, how to basically use system calls, inter-process communication mechanisms, and create multitasking applications, multi-threading applications. Right? That's the next level. Okay, that's what you learn. Then subsequently, when you move on, you will learn more modules, like for example, embedded Linux, right? Where again Linux is coming here. You see this what you call Linux at level 3. Okay, here in both level 1 and level 2, you're running Linux in your PC only, but here you will be running it in a QEMU based internet, which I showed you, right? Where if you compile the kernel, you customize the kernel, and you'll also understand why Linux is so popular. Right? Whenever people talk about embedded systems, they talk about Linux. Or when they talk about Linux, they talk about embedded systems. Why it's like that, right? You will come to know those details later, right? As you delve into the module. So once you're done with all these things, anyways, your Disha certifications and placements ready. See, ideally we put it as a level 4, but it will start from level 1 only. If you ask me a mentor, what would I prefer? Okay, I would say, guys, you finish all the modules, then apply. That would be an ideal scenario because you're completely skilling yourself. But there are always practical challenges, right? Students will have challenges where they cannot wait. They say, no, sir, my father is already asking me, right? When will you get a job? Already, it's been 6 months or 1 year. Or some of it's more than that. They're quitting a job and taking a risk. So I want to start applying as early as possible. The same thing applies to companies also. Companies also, they want the manpower or they want the people to join immediately. Okay, that's when we open up from level 1. But it's up to you. You can say, sir, I will apply after level 2 only. It's your choice. Okay, we are not going to force anybody. In fact, I don't even know, which student at what level. We see the application, we'll start list. Of course, we'll do the filtering, but I'm telling you. Okay, so this is about how your modules will progress. And assessment system, very important. Everything will get assessed, be it attendance, assignments, the project that you're going to work, your weekly test, and you'll also have a module test, right? And then based on this, you will also given a progress report. This will be a continuous evaluation system, not based on one exam. All the 5, 6 factors which I showed you in the previous slide, you will be given this particular progress report. Where if you're above 70, you will be in a green zone. If you're 60 to 70, you will be in orange zone. And similarly, various zone will persist. So this zone will play a very important role when we are appearing for placements. I'll tell you why. the higher the zone you are, okay, that means what you are performing better in our course. Okay, so that way some of the challenges what you come across, let us say consider two cases here. Okay, so there is one student who is like a 2021 pass out. Okay, let us say he's having 75% in engineering, and he or she it is in the red zone. He is in the red zone, he just scored a very less marks. On the contrary, we have a student, let us say from 2016, he's having a percentage of 62%. Okay, but he's in green zone. Okay, so now between these two candidates, companies are also very much aware that, anyways, I told you they don't consider era pass out, right? They're not much bothered, especially the smaller and mid-sized ones. And they also know even the percentage what you get in your college, it's not uniform, right? For example, in some universities scoring 70% is easy, whereas in some universities scoring 60 itself is very hard, right? Okay. So what they're telling you, and increasingly companies are asking, is that how did these students perform in your course? But yesterday also there was a discussion about that. Okay. So what we'll be doing whenever we are sharing your list with the companies, we'll also share your performance information. Okay. Majority of the companies are asking for that. So given these two choices, right, who will get shortlisted? Of course, this particular second person, okay, because he is scoring high in our evaluation system. Okay, so if you ask me, the question of, sir, how do I get more shortlisting, or how do I crack that particular what you call premium job, etc., etc. My only request is, do whatever mentors are telling. When you do that, naturally you will be a higher performer. The higher your performance is, the easier for you to crack those interviews and whatever the placement opportunities, right? Okay. This is about the performance. And under Disha, right? Disha is the other track which we run, which is a series of workshops we do, which I do, as I told. I deliver those classes where we talk about how to write a resume. For example, majority of the students, they're more than 90% information what they put in a resume, it is not impressive or not useful to the companies, right? For example, people write about blood group, phone number, Aadhaar number, Aadhaar number, everything. That's of no use, right? Rather, you show them the skill sets and projects. That's more important. We'll dwell in depth about that resume building in those workshops. And when you face the technical interviews and HR interviews, how to answer, what are the common pitfalls, how to avoid them, right? What is that they're expecting, right? Those type of things you will learn in the interview workshop. And apart from that, our mentors will be conducting a lot of prep workshops, okay, which will be on topic basis or a specific company basis. Let us say there's a company which has come and we collect the previous year questions or previous drive when it happens, right? Because more than again. So when they come last time, our students we would have collected the what you call question paper from those students, and then whatever based on that we know, okay, what this is what the company is expecting. So we'll be conducting specific topic specific, company specific, or sometimes let's say 3-4 companies are lined up, right? They may conduct a workshop only for specifically for those companies, right? So that way even mock interviews for that matter, right? So these preparations will keep on happening so that when you're appearing for the interview, you're well prepared. Okay, so one is, as I told you, two aspects of it. One is your day-to-day things, being regular to the class, doing assignments and projects is very, very important. But that only take care of some aspect. When you go on the interview, how to answer, what are the tips and tricks, that is also equally or more important sometimes, because some of the other I've seen in my past, right, very good students, they're very regular, but they do some silly mistake in interview, right? How to avoid that? That's what we'll be doing in the Disha sessions. And any other career related guidance, for example, how do I shape my career path? Or some of them students come here and then they realize that they want to go for higher studies. Or, in fact, this morning we got a request from one of our alumni where he's worked for about 4-5 years, then he want to go for his master's abroad, right? Okay, we'll support you with that. We will give you necessary references, letter of recommendations, whatever you need, we will be providing you. Okay, so that's what we do in the Disha so that you do well in your career. Okay, so that's about that. Okay, so move on. Now we'll talk about placements. Anyways, I touched upon placements at a more of a companies and how the trend is, but this more I'll talk about the process of the placement, right? Okay, I would like to pause here and take questions. So in the previous section, if you see, we covered about course, how the course gets delivered, and how we are different from the so-called Udemy's of the world. and why your performance in our course matters, right? Okay, how you will get assessed, right? We talk about that. Is there any questions, guys? Please type in the window. I think there was some question about how to do the prep workshops in the previous chats. Hope that got answered. Is it clear? After getting placed at the early stage, can we complete remaining modules? Yes, Indu. We are still working out much more options for our students. One option we are giving them to the students is, the same course we deliver for working people, especially the ones who cannot manage their timings. Right? We deliver the course from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, that is one option where you can join that particular batch in case if you wanted to do that, right? Other option is, anyways, you will have access to all the recordings, right? Suppose your batch you left at some particular level, but your batch continues for the remaining modules. You can look into the recording also. Or you say, no, sir, I can manage this 2 hours every day. Anyways, I'm placed, but I can take my class also. That's also fine. But preferably, what I'm telling is, our students who are getting placed, they're preferring either one or two options. We can give you, this thing, the completion part. No worries. Or in fact, some students comes and tell, right, sir, I attended C module. I feel I have not done well, okay, because I missed few classes. I did not perform well. Can I attend the C programming once again? Okay, from the next, I'll continue to data structure, but in some other batch, can I attend once again, right? We say, fine. There is no limit for you to learn in Emergy. Just because, you're attending once again, you'll say, don't to pay extra fees, right? Okay, we don't get into that. You are welcome, right? We ensure that you learn. There's no limit in terms of, how you can learn, right? I hope that is clear, Indu. Any other questions, guys, about the course? Okay. So which Linux systems we are going to use for the course, Shoaib? So Shoaib will be using Ubuntu. Okay, that also will be, I would say, that will be the first exercise when you start your classes. I'll make the announcement about the class in the end of this presentation. How do you need to join your first class? So when you join, initial days, your first exercise is to install Linux in your laptop. That will be your first hands-on exercise. Our mentors will guide you. They will give you a particular Linux distribution, or they'll tell you where to download one from, and then you install in your laptop. That's what you'll be doing. Okay. We'll be using primarily Ubuntu. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? Shall I proceed to the placement section? Okay. Yeah. It says, what is the trend, sir? So do students attend placement in early stage, or they do complete all the modules and then attend? Amrit, largely, if you ask me, based on my experience in Emergy, students do attend in the early stage itself. Okay. Only very few of them wait till all the modules. Because as I told you, right, one is there can be some pressure from the personal family side, and another thing is they may not miss the opportunity. Okay, for example, you saw, right, when Uber Sooner has come, 9 to 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs package. Will they come next month? May not be, right? So they say grab it. When if I have the skill set, why not, right? Okay. So it's a mix and match approach students take. Okay, I would recommend you guys can take works for you. Okay. If you have doubts, if you are not clear, you can anyways let us know. We'll suggest you the best. Okay. We'll suppose some students are there. They may be doing very well in C programming. Their score may be very high. They're very high in confidence. For such students, we ask you to wait. You may get a better opportunity. Don't miss this, right? So we'll recommend you, right? Okay, accordingly. No worries. But broadly, all the students start applying as early as possible. Once the gate opens up, like how the lockdown is lifted, come on, everybody will jam the, what do you call, shops, right? Shop and shopping mall. The same thing, our students do. Any other questions, folks, before I proceed? Shall I start the placement section? Some portion I explained, remaining some process things. All right, Harshit says proceed. Okay, yeah, Raghu also says proceed. Okay, I will proceed to the placement section. See, in the first slide, right, when we started this whole induction, I just gave you more of a trend, right? What is happening in the situation? Because that why I put that information in the beginning itself, because I'm sure that is a one worry all of you will have in your minds, right? Okay. In fact, that's what we do this course for. Otherwise, why are you doing this course, right? Okay, you want to ensure that you get into the job, right? Only will come only for the sheer joy of learning, or they're applying for higher studies. That will be hardly 1% of the student, like 1 or 2%. 98% of the students come to us because they want to have a career in this field, right? We are aware of that. That's why I clarified the trend and how the market is looking. And this is like a real data what it showed, right? Now coming to the process point of view, as I told you, you guys come. First module will happen, second module will happen, third module will happen. That is your C++ module gets over, or you complete your level 1 as we just discussed right here. You are done with your level 1, then your placements will you can start applying for placements. So what should you do as a first step? You will be part of this Google group, right? Our team will be adding you. They'll take few days to verify your email ID. And most of you are, because you're online student, anyways, you're interacting via email. Because in some cases, physical mail means the student would have put a wrong spelling or something like that. They will anyways take few days, and they will basically add you to this Google group, right? This Google group is a live, situation, as you can see, right? Hourly, as we saw, right? There is some more things happen. 2 more mails happen after we start our meeting, right? Even though we update our social media, website, etc., which you would have, I'm sure, would have looked into, right? But take some time. Our team has to prepare that information, publish in the website, etc. But this is, now that you are a student, right? This is your primary window, right? So what happens? Right? First and foremost thing is, you'll see mails which are having this thing called apply now. For example, I'll say take this Crest Aerospace, right? Go here, which we already saw. All the information are available here. You can just say whether you're meeting the criteria like engineering and then year of pass out and which module you need to apply. You check the eligibility or your entry, and you're fine with the salary, mode, etc. You're fine. Then what you need to do, there'll be a link will be given, application URL, right? You just need to click here. Okay. And there'll be a cutoff for application. Let's say 19th June, 2 p.m. That is 2-3 days back. Now, if you click, nothing will be there because it's already closed, or placement manager would have closed this application. See here, they would have closed. Right? But generally, when the application is open, when you click, the company specific some information will be there, your name, email ID, and some companies will ask for some specific data. Let me see whether any apply now came. Please see this one. This company, when is the deadline? Oh, this also. Okay. Anyways, I don't have any live applications now, but more of follow-up and scheduling is happening. You can see here, online interview and scheduling is happening, and some people got placed. Right? Okay. Maybe 2 days. It's only drive happening. Okay. So you can apply that, and what happens? That's the first step into do. Let me go back to the slide. So this is a process. So you get a notification, you apply. Okay. So once you apply, what happens? There'll be a cutoff, which I mentioned. By then, they will stop the application. Typically, a placement manager, Lokesh, does this activity, and then he closes the sheet, and he sends it to me. And sometimes if you need to sort them, sometimes company will say no, no. Even though there are 100 applications, you only send me the top 10, right? Okay, or top 15. So that time we need to consider your marks, which I showed you in the previous slide, your performance. So we'll consider everything, and we'll do something called as internal shortlisting or screening. Right? And sometimes what happens, students who are not eligible to apply. It clearly says 2019 and 20, but some 2017 student would apply, right? And then some student will say 70% only apply, some student 65 would apply. So we'll clear out all those things because companies won't accept those anomalies, right? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. So we do the internal shortlisting, and after that we share the list with the client company, and then they may also further shortlist. Let's say there are 30 students who applied. We'll do the filtering. Let us say we make it into 25, and we send the 25 student list to the company. They may call all the 25, or they only call only 20, or they may even call only 10. Okay? Sometimes they tell on what basis they are filtering, or sometimes they won't tell also. But never the case, keep a thumb rule. The higher you are performing, the better it is, right? So once you are shortlisted, two things happen. One, the publication goes, as you saw in the group, that what is the next step? The students who are got shortlisted, their name will be published, right? And the people who are got shortlisted, they'll also get a personal email saying that, hey, you are shortlisted, and this is how you are going to attend the interview. Whether it's a Skype link or whether it's a Microsoft Teams or what do you call it, Zoom, whatever the link, what is the procedure, our placement team will send you as an individual also. And then suppose there are 3 students attending interview, one student attending at 4, one another is 5, another is at 6. Everything will reach your mailbox. Okay, you don't need to worry, you don't need to get tensed. But in case it did not reach you, I'll also tell you how you can reach out to us, whether you're admin department or placement department, how you can reach out. We have an entire thing, support line very clearly laid out. Okay? So we will show you how to reach out to them. Okay, all right, then you attend the interviews and this thing, and people will clear, right? As you can saw in the group itself, some clear the written test, who clear the written test, that information is published. Then who cleared the first round of technical, who cleared the second round of technical, and finally who got job till applying all the way up to congratulations mail, everything will come in your group. Okay, and people who got selected, Lokesh, our placement manager, will be still in touch with you. Any kind of onboarding help you need, for example, if you need to travel to join the company, which is not happening, but few companies requested to travel and make a physical onboarding, right? So we'll help you with that, or any document need to be sent, or they say, oh, if this student is an emergency student or not, can you give a bona fide certificate? We'll do that. So whatever it takes, the paperwork or formalities will help you and ensure that on the day of job, you are going and reporting to your work. Till then, we will be supporting you. After that, we'll say bye-bye. Between you and your manager, you guys go to your project-related work, right? Or your, what do you call, the domain-specific thing, right? We'll be helping you with that. Offer release and onboarding. Of course, certification is also there. We'll talk about that, right? So the entire information will reach you, okay, via Google Mail and WhatsApp also you can do, not an issue. Okay. So from an eligibility perspective, we are not very strict about this, but keep it in mind. The more higher you perform, the better it is. We want to keep a placement eligibility test, etc. We're not very strict. We're not keeping that much, but ensure that you complete your assignments. One important thing which is not from our side but from the company side is they're very particular is at least you should have 60+, the first one, right? That's eligibility from the company. Okay? First class is what they expect. Okay? But the more 2 and 3, the better you are. It is more. It will be helpful in the interview. You will be on a better performing side. Okay? Somebody spoke about job roles, right? Let me talk about that. So if you look at embedded, it's a very broad domain, which is having what you call these verticals, like aeronautical, automotive, consumer, electronics, telecom, IoT, automotive, automation and control. And you can even add more, more thing to it, right? Okay. So this is what we call an horizontal way of looking. Sorry, a vertical way of looking into it. They're all individual domains or subdomains. Here, when it comes to roles, right? Roles can be of varied roles, right? For example, the role can be where you are going to hire for a testing role, or you are going to hire for a bug fixing or customizing an OS or tuning an OS type of role, or you're going to develop an embedded application, which it's on a, let us say you're going to write a application for a smart city, right? You're going to deploy for that. Or it can be bringing up a hardware, new hardware has come, you need to, what do you call, the science of life, they call, ensuring the basic bootloader and basic drivers are up and running. Are you going to do that? Okay, or a device driver development. The work can be of anything. So you can consider like a, what do you call, rows and columns, or a thing, right? What will happen is there can be company X, right? Let us say there's a telecom company which is hiring for a OS porting job. So you can say what, this and this, okay? There can be a combination. Whereas I can have another IoT company which is hiring for an application development job, right? I can draw a line here, and then I can draw a line here. The job is here. Whereas here the job is here. Like that, the vertical and horizontal keep varying between companies and keep varying between even 2 people who are hired from our own institute. For example, there are, let us say, 10 students are hired, right? Especially big companies, there are multiple projects, right? 2 students may be deployed in the testing role, 2 students may be deployed in tuning, and 4 students will be deployed in application development. It purely depends on the internal requirements. Okay? So, but be rest assured that all the roles that we are hiring are in the embedded companies only, but internally the roles and responsibilities will vary. Okay, that will not be able to assure you. That depends on the company and their requirement, right? Okay. And I would say that don't be very specific. Don't come and tell, you know what, sir, I want to only do development in IoT, okay, or I want to only work on consumer electronics and do a device driver development. Don't be so specific when you start with. Starting with what is the first step, right? Get into embedded domain. I would say target that and get a job. That's the first and foremost achievement, which itself is good. Then subsequently, you have this as a second goal. Some of the students hit both in the same placement only. That's well and good. But if you don't get it, okay, it's fine. I have a scenario. It'll be really funny if I say this, right? Like I have one student sometime back met with me. She's in NXP and she joined for a 6 lakh salary, and around 6 months she got permanent. She's taking around, I think, somewhere around 10 to 12 lakh salary she's earning. Okay. She comes and tells her, I'm not liking my work. My manager is giving me some work, I'm not liking. Okay. Whereas I think there is one more company, I think it's called Cognate Things, or one more company. A student is there who is doing a 2.4 lakh salary, but he's doing an amazing work. He's building a hardware from the scratch. It varies, right? Okay, what I'm telling is don't go by, as of now, don't get into these details. I also told them how to solve it. That's a different problem. That's a second level problem, right? My request to all of you is solve the first level problem. First level problem is what? Get a job, get a paycheck, go and show it to your parents or your near and dear ones, make them happy. Okay, and you be self-reliant and get more confident. That's the first step. Then subsequently you can work on other steps also. Okay, in fact, our alumni keep coming back to me, right? Coming back to us and say, sir, I have been in 4 years in Bosch. What should I do? Right? Last 2 weeks back, I had a talk with my friend. Right? Sorry, student. It keeps happening. That we'll talk later, right? That's the idea. And let me move on. Right, important points. This, as I told you, nothing to worry. You just put it for the slide sake. We will probably change this also. You need to come to Bangalore, we said, but that is not true anymore. Okay, because of pandemic, 95% of companies are hiring digitally. You can stay at home, attend the interview at home, get a placement at home. Maybe in future, then they come to Bangalore or any other city, come here. Okay? Regular attendance on the instructions. This is a very important thing. You can, ignore anything. I will be fine. Okay, but don't ignore being regular. Okay. We should discuss preparing basic aptitude, basic electronics, final year project. It's your responsibility. As I told, roles will vary from company to company. Okay, we'll not be able to demand anything. We'll say, okay, fine. It's an embedded company. We do our analysis. Whether it's a decent company which can give you a good career as you move forward. That's what we aim at. After that, we don't do too much digging into how many. This also roles also our students come back and tell. When we meet them later, they say, sir, student one went into this role, the other student went into that role. That's what they tell us. Okay, so that's the whole idea about roles. Okay. So moving on. This is another very important part which you need to keep it in mind. Okay, it's called placement blacklisting. Okay, so while we work with companies, we don't want certain scenarios to happen which will put our institute in the bad light. Okay, so let me tell you in the beginning, I made this statement. Whether I don't know whether you registered this in your mind or not. Okay, if you look at the placement companies, anyway, very shortly you'll start seeing in our Google group also, right? You can see, right, 70% of the companies, okay, they are repeat recruiters. They are repeat. They don't come one time and stop, right? They come to this batch after 6 months, they'll come after 3 months, they may even come after a few weeks, right? Okay, so why they come to us? Because we tell few things to them. One, look at this is a syllabus, this is a mentor, this is a way we train, how we shown you guys, right? We show the same to the company. But I have one presentation which we show to the companies, which I discussed in the Disha workshop, right? Okay, like we are telling induction. What is it we tell to the companies, right? We tell them this is how we train. One. Second thing, we tell them, okay, we don't want any student, we don't allow any student to be absent for any kind of a selection process. Whether you call for an interview, whether you call for a test, our students will be there. Let us say a company shortlist 30 students, and what happens when I say only 3 students go and attend the interview? How bad it will look, right? Okay, that's why I told you in the beginning, right? There is no force. If you are not comfortable with a particular company, salary, domain, whatever it can be, you are 100% the freedom we are giving you not to apply for the company, right? You can say skip it, right? But the other person may feel very important, he or she can apply. It's your choice. But once you applied, assuming that you are shortlisted and your written test or interview timing is being conveyed, you have to attend that interview. There is no excuse there. But yes, on the day of interview or the before the day, something might happen. For example, you are not keeping well, you're near, and especially given these challenging times, which I told in the beginning itself, right? You need to inform us at least 24 hours before. Call us and say, suppose say Manish is having an issue. Okay, or Harsha is having a problem, right? He's having some exam or something has come up, right? Call us 24 hours before and tell, sir, I'll not be able to attend this interview because of so and so reasons. If you don't inform us and don't attend the interview, that puts our institute in a very bad light to the companies. Okay, so then you will be blacklisted. Okay, so that's one important thing. That's the second part I would say. If you don't show up for the test or interview, right? The other part which I already discussed, once you get an offer, you have to join. Okay, there's no two job or multi-job concept here. You cannot come back and suppose there's a bond. Yesterday there was a discussion. Okay, one company has clearly told his company has got 2-year bond. Now the student has applied, she got a job. Now her father coming and telling, no, bond and all, I cannot make my daughter sign and all, right? It will not be acceptable. Okay, so if you have doubt, if you are signing up for a bond, or if you are some companies say you need to work in, let us say, different location, or client location is in, let us say, Mumbai, from Bangalore to travel, right? Everything will clarify, but in case if you have difficulty, you need to check with your parents, check it, no problem, okay, before you apply. But not when you are getting shortlisted, or when you are getting an offer. That time don't come and tell me, sir, my uncle is telling this, my father is telling this, or my mother is not allowing me to travel, etc. That will not be acceptable. Third part, whatever you guys initially asked, right? I'm from so and so era pass out, or this is my percentage, work experience, etc. When you are explaining, guys, there's a power outage here. I'm just reconnecting. Are you able to hear me? Can you see in my chat? Are you able to hear me? Okay, thanks, Shashank. Thanks, Manish. Give me a minute. I'm reconnecting. My audio is up, but not my screen. Give me a minute. Guys, can you confirm if audio and video both are okay? Screen share and audio. Okay, all right. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Sorry, there was a power outage. This is to another connection. All right. So let us assume we are in blacklisting, right? So we discuss about the process, eligibility, roles. Yeah, blacklisting, right? So in case if you're fudging with your numbers, for example, if you're giving a wrong year of pass out, or you are giving a fake certificate about your college, etc., right? That is also not okay, because even if you escape through us, finally companies will employ these days a third party verification agency. They'll verify all your previous documents. So if there is an issue with respect to your document, especially the experienced ones, right? Then also it will be considered as blacklisted. Okay. So once you're blacklisted, what means you will not be allowed to attend any more placements. You can continue your course, you can continue your certification, your labs, projects, no issue, right? You can continue, but you will not be allowed to sit for placements again. Okay, and we are very, very strict about this, right? We will not be able to give any leverage, because these actions will create a bad impression about the company. And once we break the trust of a company, right, it's very hard to gain back, right? That's the reason why 70% of them are come and recruit from us again and again, because of the trust they have, right? Okay. So that's the idea. So I don't want any of you get into this. Unfortunately, I saw one case yesterday where one girl, then her father spoke, anybody comes, will not be able to reconsider. Okay. It's very important. Keep it in your mind. If you have doubt, your queries, we will help you, right? So some FAQs, which you guys already asked me, till how long I will get placement opportunity through Immersive? Now I'll ask you this question. What is the answer for this? I want answers. Let me run it as a quiz that we discussed in detail in the beginning itself. How long I'll get placement opportunities through Immersive? Please type here. 15 months, Manish. Yeah, very good answer. Okay, I would say 3 plus 12, right? Third month you can start applying. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, Padma Shri is saying 1 year after the course. Roughly, if you ask me effectively, it is 15 months. Very good answer. Okay. Can you choose between two job offers? What is the answer for this? No, right? You get one job offer, you join. It can be happening. For example, as you see, so many applications are coming, right? Let us say there you can be in a scenario where, let us say, you're attending 3 interviews together, company 1, 2, 3, right? For example, in company 1, you attended only a written test, right? Company 2, you cleared the written test, you attended the technical interview also, you're waiting for the HR. Whereas company 3, you clear the written, clear the technical, you even clear the HR. And then let us say today at, let us say, around 1:30 on Tuesday, company 3 comes and tells me, hey, you know what? These 3 people, Praveen, Padmashri, and Annapurna, they're selected. Okay. The moment we get either a verbal or we get a written communication confirmation from the companies, what we will tell. Suppose on these 3 guys, let us say, Annapurna, Padmashri, and Praveen, they're also attending these 2 also. We go back and tell the company 1, company 2 also, saying that, you know what, Mr. Company 1, these 3 students are not available. They're already got selected with other company, right? Initially, companies are a little angry with us. Hey, how this can happen? Then later they realize, right? This can happen with ulta next time, right? Okay, that's why we say anytime you are selected, you join the company. Then they started appreciating this, our process, right? So we will automatically tell the other companies, right, saying that these students are no longer available. That will happen internally. You don't need to go do anything. You don't need to call the company and say, hey, I got an offer, I will not attend. You don't need to tell. You just go through C3 and get a letter, and Lokesh will be communicating to you continuously, right? So that's the whole idea. We will take care of that in the backend. Multiple drives you're attending, right? Okay. Then let me move on to the next question. Should I apply to all companies? What is the answer? As you saw, right? No, right? It's your choice. Okay. Ensure you're eligible, but if at some point is not comfortable for you, yeah, Harsha is telling your wish, right? That's a very nice way to put it. We are not going to, yeah, personal choice. Maybe is telling. Any point not comfortable, don't apply. What type of companies are hiring? We saw that. Okay, it's a startups, mid-size, MNCs, working in all the domains, right? You will, anyways, once you're part of the group, you will get to know hourly or very frequent update you will be getting. Okay. What is the difference between internal company shortlisting? Internal shortlisting, what we do more of a filtering, right, to ensure the right set of candidates are going to the company, and company can further shortlist more students based on their criteria, further criteria also. Okay. How can I get more shortlisting? I want your answer, right? How can you get more shortlisting? What's the answer for that? Green, very good. Precisely. Good performance, very nice. The more you are in a better, the more shortlisting will happen. Right? There's one question I think from Shashank. So if there is a consecutive interview, got selected in more than one company, then yes, Shashank, that particular scenario will not happen. Right? Okay. As I told you, right? C1, C2, C3 happening because we'll be tracking every step with the company. It's not a chuma. You guys, suppose you go and attend the written test and come back, right? We'll not stop there. That's for you, right? We'll be continuously every day. You should see our mailbox. It's flooded. Every step we'll track, and we tell the companies also not to talk to the students directly, and we tell the students, you guys also don't talk to companies directly, right? Everything goes to a placement department. So there won't be any chance where on the same day two companies are getting offer letters. That never happens. Okay. Because the moment we come to know confirmation from one company, we'll tell all the other companies. Shashank is attending, let's say ABC, right? He got a letter at 1:30 at company C. We tell C1 and C2 immediately. We don't wait, saying that Shashank is no longer available. Okay. So we will never allow that multiple selections to happen. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Shashank says, okay, sir. Finally, NSDC certification, I'll briefly tell. There are some slides, but I'll just briefly show you guys what the certification business is all about. A Skill India. So when you are attending this course, right, you can also apply for a certification by the end of the course. In order to apply for this, you need to wait. Okay, the NSDC or Skill India people demand that you apply, you basically complete all the modules, right? Okay. So once you complete all the modules, then we will be calling out for applications similar in the Google group itself. Okay. And for this, there will be a certification fee, which is again charged by Skill India, not by us, right? So it will be, I think, somewhere around 1,500, 2,000. I don't remember because currently we are not doing the certification because of the pandemic. They used to do online, but this time, about 2 months when we checked, right, they said they're not doing. We need to check now since things are opening up. So when you apply, there will be an assessment panel coming from NSDC. They'll be evaluating you, and then upon successful completion, you'll get the certificate. Right? This you can see it's from Government of India. It's a government certified, and with all the QR code and other things, with all the logos and compliances. Right? Okay. And don't worry about this clearing this certification. It's been very easily clear. We have 100% pass rate. Okay, you don't need to worry or prepare anything specifically for the certification exam. Right, arams you can clear. But in case, right, suppose you're getting a job in between, or you want to basically apply for some higher studies, right? As I told you this morning, one student, he's like I think 2017-18 student. He wanted a certificate. He forgot to take. He got a job and when he forgot to take, right? You can always approach us. We can give you the emergency certificate at any point in time. Suppose 3 modules you completed and you left, right? We can give you certificate for those 3 modules, right? We'll be able to give you, right? This is a certification options for you guys. I think we are coming to the close of the presentation. So some of the do's and don'ts. Attendance, very, very important. I can't reiterate the importance of it anymore. Follow the instructions, follow what the mentors are telling. Work as per what we say, because it's a process and it's very well streamlined. Okay. Appreciate it's a system driven, not an individual driven. Communicate, especially in online, because we're not seeing you guys face to face, right? Communicate more and then continuously improve. You don't need to, for example, you target for a green zone, but if you're in red zone in the first module, let us say, don't give up, right? Module to module, you keep on improving. Learn from peers and classmates, right? That's why I asked you to, in fact, I spend good amount of time in introducing each other's, help each other. Okay, suppose Shashank got an interview, right? Go and share it, Vamsi. Hey, Vamsi, this is what this company has asked for. Then Vamsi got a job, right? Go and tell Padmash, hey, this is what you can crack the next thing. Help each other. That always yielded us good results. What are the don'ts? Don't miss the classes strictly, whether you're working, non-working student, missing in classes is something is unpardonable. Okay. Don't assume things. Since you're remote, there may be some rumor floating around, hey, that by this many people got paid, this many people did not get paid. As it's telling from the beginning, okay, even before you guys join the course, our data is transparent. Right? There is absolutely nothing for us to hide, right? And now that you are become our student, we'll be all the more sharing more details, right? Okay. But right from the time, probably when you came for your first inquiry, whether, I'm sure you would have met with Asma or some of the other team members who are front ending, the process remains same. There's nothing after admission we tell something or before admission. Don't assume, right? In case if you have any queries and questions, please reach out to us. I'll tell you next slide how you can reach out to us. We'll be able to share any information that you need. Okay? And don't attack any mentors. If you are, suppose a mentor is teaching, right? You're not understanding. Tell the mentor itself, right? Hey, I'm not understanding. And they won't take it personally, right? They'll help you, right? If you still have issues, we have coordinates, so you can reach out to us, right? That's about the don'ts. Okay. Now, what are the action items for you guys? We'll be sending you the few emails about Google Groups and other things. Please join the groups. We'll be giving you the logins for our online learning management system and all. This video, anyways, I'll record till you get, it will take few days to set up the groups and LMS, right? I will put this in a YouTube private link and I will share it via my colleague Asma, so that you can watch it offline also if you need. As I already told, I think some of you already asked this question about Linux installation. That will be your first step. You'll install and then you will move on, right? And this is a very important slide. I request all of you to take a screenshot of this and keep it in your laptop, and later store these numbers also in your phones. We have 3 lines of support. One is the administrative line, which is all related to your fees, installments, receipts, and then scholarships, whatever discounts, etc. You can talk to Ms. Asma. I think you're already interacting with her, the main person, and Asma is supported by another good number of people. Okay, you can reach out to Asma, and the phone number and email ID are given there. Okay? Once you join, anything related to the class, labs, you missed a particular class, you wanted to do it once again, or any letter, because I'm getting these days request about parents want some certificates that you are studying here and with the fee amount so they can claim some income tax benefit or something like that, right? Feel free. We have been giving letters, right? Anandi will work with you, and then she sends me, and then I'll sign it and scan it and send it to you. Okay? Even in case physical copies we are not sending because of the courier limitation. In case you need physical copy also, we can courier it to you. But majorly we've been doing soft copy, sign, sign, put our company rubber stamp and scan it and give it to you, right? We'll give you any letter that you want. Okay, that some student want a bona fide certificate, and later you want to have a letter of recommendation you want to apply for higher studies, we'll give you, right? Anandi is the person. Very simple email ID, support@emergy, and our phone number is also given there. And once you start applying for placements, that's when Mr. Lokesh comes into the picture, who is our placement manager. He will be interacting with you on the shortlisting, whether you got selected, which tool to use, any issues, etc. Everything, please talk to him. His email ID is placements@synergy, and then the number is also given. Okay? These 3 support lines are your lifeline, because you are sitting remotely. Please feel free to interact and then update us about our progress. You can WhatsApp us, mail us, SMS us, whatever, right? All mode of communication works. My only request is communicate. That's my request. Okay. And people who are in Bangalore, I think some of you are in Bangalore, or in case you plan to visit, you are most welcome. We are still not open. Hopefully, I think today, 21st, or yesterday, 21st is when the state government, Karnataka government, has given us some, what is Bangalore district has been given some permissions to open with some percentage of staff. Hopefully, at least today or day after, I'm planning to go to our office, but not for students yet, because we come under the education institution category. We have not started the offline courses, which we are again expecting at least by mid of July. We expect things to be better. In the second wave would have settled down and more people would have taken vaccination. But in case you are in Bangalore, or if you're trying to visit Bangalore, you're most welcome to come here to our office. We are near a place called MG Road, and there's a metro station here. You can just come and meet any of us. No problem. Okay. So that's about the Stay Connected. Okay. So with that, I would like to welcome all of you to the course. And then a couple of things. I would like to all of you to come on the video. Let me minimize the slide now. First, hope you're able to see me. Okay, please all of you come so that we can see face to face. In the meantime, I'll tell you about your class. what we need to do as we're coming online. So your classes, guys, will start from tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow onwards, your class will start at 9:30 a.m. Okay, let me put it in the chat window. Typically, we keep the link same for induction the first class, but not now. There's a change for your batch. Just let me create the chat window. The first module, which is Linux systems. So that's your class and lab timings mentioned in the window. And you need to use this link. Let me share the link. Okay, it's a different link than what you guys have joined today. So please use the link which is there in the window. Typically we keep it same, but today there is a room. This is also like a classroom only, right? We keep physically allocating different mentors, different sessions. There are about, I think about 20 batches are running already, right? That's what our mentors have shared me to inform you. So tomorrow morning 9:30, please join this particular link. Our mentors will come. They will give you the first level instructions, and then you can follow the whatever they're telling. Then for initial few days there won't be any lab because the mentor has to cover a good amount of subject so that the lab can be started. Initially there will be installation, there is 2 hours of class will be there. Once the class mentor covers good amount of uh, subjects, and then the assignment can be kick started, then the lab mentor will kick in. Mentor or mentor, sometimes we deploy more than one class, sorry, lab mentors. Class will be only one mentor, but lab will be sometimes 2 mentors, right? So it depends on the batch and etc. So they will start interacting with you, right? And then you'll be part of the WhatsApp group, and then learning management system login will be given where you can access the record test. And then you're on. In another week or so, then you will be familiar with our process. Whatever I mentioned, it will happen. Practically same one is to one, it will happen. Okay. So that's all, guys. Thank you for listening in. I know it's like already, you see, right? It's 11 we started, right? It's already 2 o'clock, right? Okay, it's 11:30 is 2.5 hours. But yeah, it takes time to discuss so many things. It's not a simple information which is shared, right? And I hope all your questions are being answered. If you still have any questions, feel free to type. I'll be available in chat for maybe another 10-15 minutes if you still have questions. I know times are challenging, but as I told you, there is an amazing opportunity for all of you because of the placement companies are recruiting and the kind of record our placement students are able to achieve, especially this second wave time. It's been amazing. I'm sure if they can do, why not you guys, right? You all can do very well and score well and then get into placements. So I wish you all the best to all of you. Okay, and then start attending your classes from tomorrow. Okay. Any other questions? Feel free to type. Okay. So nice meeting all of you. Okay. Take care and stay safe. I'll go off video and then I'll come back in the chat. Okay. Bye. I'll be there in chat. There's a question about bond. I'm typing. Yeah, there are companies, Harsh, which ask for no bond. You can check for our Google group. You will see. Company to company varies. I showed a few with bond, few without bond, right? It varies. You can check the Google group. You'll get to know. Okay. When the Disha workshop start, typically I do this once in 2 months or sometimes once in 3 months. We group a set of batches and then do it, right? Once we have a sizable people who completed the C module and then they start applying for placements, that's when we start. I would say once in two months, 2.5 months, you can say roughly. Okay. When I do the Disha workshops, that also will be done online. Siddharth is asking, will the class timing will remain same for entire course? No, Siddharth, this is for first module. Okay. For the second module, let us say C programming, it will change or it may remain same also. Our mentors will communicate to you. When one mentor is handing out to the other mentor, they'll communicate. When your class and lab will, it will keep changing. But your class will be either at 9:30, 11:30, or 2. That will be 3 slots. Because after 4:30, we don't keep class. It's hard for students to focus, especially for except for the working people, which can you do it from 7 to 9 p.m. But lab will be flexible, okay, and then your WhatsApp will be available from 9 to 7. Harsha is saying, what if we got placed outside of the placements which Emergy have provided, which we can choice? Will there be any benefit, right? Again, it's yours, Harsha, okay, because we already saw students who are got an offer from Capgemini and come to us. So if you're getting placed outside Emergy, you can, they will ask you to join, right? You can go and join that company if it is okay with you. But if you don't want to join that company, you want only through us, that is also fine with us. If it's because some students through offline they get placed in very good companies. There may be some referral drive going on, or there may be some online application, all India test they may call, right? With the skill set what they got from university, they get placed also. If that is satisfactory to you, go and join. If it is not satisfactory, reject that offer, apply through us. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Akansha is asking, sir, if we want to attend interview after first module, will help us to that moment for resume building. Yes, Akansha, that's the idea, because Indu already asked the question. By the time you finish your 3 modules, not the first module, basically your Linux system, C and C++ when you complete, right? That's roughly around the timeline where I conducted Disha. Even though it may not be accurately matched, but more or less I ensure I do it in around 2.5 months timeline. Okay, that means you people would be keep completing the C module, right? Okay, that's the idea. But even there is either other delay, you don't need to worry. You can go and start applying. Okay, we will ensure that our idea is to ensure it happens before. But if due to certain reason, if there is a week or 2 delay, you don't need to wait for applying. You can go and apply. You don't let the what do you call opportunity get lost, right? Okay. So Indu is asking tomorrow no lab. Yeah, no lab tomorrow, Indu. It takes some time because the class mentor need to cover a few subjects so that they can start assignments. Once the assignment starts, the lab mentor will automatically come. They'll announce you, okay, guys, tomorrow, from day onwards, this lab will. That is again only applicable for the first module. Second module onwards, no worries, right? You can. They will anyways. You would have got used to it. Tomorrow, no lab. Tomorrow, for few days, only class will be there. So when is the best to attend placements? Okay, that's a good question. So based on my experience, right? See, let me just show you guys the screen and explain. It's not a what do you call thumb rule, not applicable for everyone. But if you ask me personally, what would I recommend? Right? That was the my personal recommendation would be slide. Yeah. My personal recommendation would be start applying it, okay, somewhere in level 2. That will be my ideal recommendation, because see, only with C what happens, sometimes it's hard to crack the interview, because when you go there, they may eventually end up asking some microcontroller question, because you're applying for an embedded role, right? And also you would have built in C and then you would have just got ready, okay, but you would never be completely ready. But I would suggest, right, level 2 would be my choice, my personal choice, I would say, okay, to attend, right? Because when you're completing LI and let us say microcontroller, that's when you will be really equipped. So when you go for a embedded interview, right, you will be able to crack it, right? That will be my personal recommendation. Wait till at least let us say, then by then you'll also done some 5-6 projects. The resume will look really nice, and you are confident because you've done so many assignments, so many projects, right? Your confidence also will be very high. So my personal choice would be at board level 2. Any other questions? I know it's lunchtime. It's 2 o'clock. Okay. Okay. Manish, yes, no questions. Can I get some responses? In case no questions, but can you tell me how did you find the session? Are you getting an idea about the course placements? Did it clarify all the questions in your mind? Okay, Siddharaj, Varsha, they're all telling you more questions. Okay. It will become more clear as you practically start doing things, but overall, yeah, got a good idea in this phase. Okay. Okay. Manish is giving me 10 out of 10. Thanks, Manish. Yes, sir, it's helpful. Okay. Okay, Shashank says awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks a lot for listening in. Okay, I'll see you around. I'm in the back end, as I told. I will not come and see you guys every day. Mentors are there. Lokesh is there. Anandi, they're all our team members. They will take care. Anything else? Support lines, please communicate. That's very important. Sitting remotely, we will take care. Okay, got good overview about the course and placement process. Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care, stay safe, take care of your health, take care of your near and dear own self. Okay, so we'll see you sometime later. So I'm just stopping the recording. We'll see you later.